What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? Welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I am back with yet another World of Tanks news episode, which is, at the moment at least, the most popular series on my channel. Thank you so much for your epic support. Almost every single news episode is hitting 2000 likes. This is crazy, guys. You are awesome. But guys, in today's news episode, we are going to take our first look at the new upcoming Tier 10 Soviet Russian medium tank, Object 430 EU. That is going to replace the current Object 430 in the Tier 10 position, but don't worry, Object 430, current Tier 10 medium tank at the moment, is not going to be removed from the game. It is not going to be like special vehicle like FE215B, FE155. It is simply going to be moved down by one tier. Same goes to the Object 430 version 2. That is going to be moved into the tier 8 position. And the super sad news is that they decided to, or they are at least thinking about removing Object 416, even after it received a new HD model. So I guess they have other plans for Object 416, maybe tier 8 premium vehicle, because why would you waste time making HD model out of this tank if you are going to remove it like for good? I think they have other plans for this vehicle, maybe yet another Soviet medium tank branch, or maybe tier 8 premium tank, as I said before. But we already have SDG, we just received SDG, that is also back turreted, a premium medium tank. So I don't know how awesome that would be. I think that would make a lot of players angry, super angry, especially those players who enjoy playing with Object 416 at the moment. It has some really good things about this vehicle. I like the mobility, I like how low profile this tank is, and thanks to that, this vehicle has the best camo value in this game among all the rest of the medium tanks. But today let's see what Object 430U has to offer. Now, why WarGaming is going to think about this replace in the first place is they wanted to make one medium tank line in the Soviet territory that has a punchy gun, good mobility and strong armor. All of those things at the same time. Starting from tier 8, starting from Object 430 version 2, they get 122mm gun with 390 alpha damage, and tier 10 gets even better alpha damage. And as I said in my first episode where I mentioned that this vehicle 121 tier 10 Chinese medium tank is going to get yet another member into the high alpha damage medium tank club. Object 430U has really high alpha damage, uncharacteristically high alpha damage for a medium tank, exactly like on WZ120 and as on 121. But first details, here we go. Tier 10 Soviet medium tank. Hit points 2000 hit points. Gun 122mm M62 TU gun. Shell types AP, APCR and HE. APCR with that kind of penetration. I wonder if this is actually APCR or maybe that famous Russian heat. But we just have to wait and see. Maybe it is APCR, because AP penetration 252 for a tier 10 medium tank. This is quite okay actually with this kind of alpha damage. And premium penetration 340mm. Mad. HE penetration 68, and shell average damage 440 and 530 with HE rounds, so 440 alpha damage on tier 10 medium tank. Reload time is under 10 seconds, most likely with 100% crew and without anything else, but I am not 100% sure. Reload time is 9.78 seconds, that equals a rate of fire of 6.13 rounds per minute. Aiming time 2.21 seconds and average damage per minute 2699. So average DPM is actually going to drop by 300, because at the moment Object 430 has the best DPM in this game together with AMX 30V among all the rest of the medium tanks. 3000 average damage per minute. Exactly the same as on new AMX 30V. so DPM from 3000 to 2700, but alpha damage 440 versus 320. So better alpha damage, but at the same time penetration is going to be a little bit lower. Previously Object 430 had 264 millimeters of penetration, now 252. But in nowadays World of Tanks, I believe to have a lot better alpha damage means more. So all things considered, I believe this is not too bad. 2700 damage per minute is still really good. It is better than on many other tier 10 medium tanks in this game. For example, it is better than on Leopard 1, E50M of course, TVP D50, M60, Badget 121B, D22 medium. What is actually, let me see, what is DPM on 121? 2750. So 121 has a little bit faster reload speed, that equals a little bit better DPM, and 121 has 6 millimeters better penetration as well with standard rounds. But moving on, now the biggest drawback of having big guns on medium tanks is of course gun handling and the accuracy. 0.38. This is quite derpy accuracy. You cannot snipe with this gun. You have to go in balls deep to dish out constant damage. Gun depression is -5 degrees. No information about gun elevation just yet, but I guess it is going to be standard 15 degrees, 17 degrees of gun elevation. But -5 degrees is also fairly standard for this kind of gun, for this kind of vehicle. Hull traverse speed 52 degrees per second, which is really good. Turret traverse speed 39.6 degrees per second. Top speed 50, reverse speed 18. I can work with that, most definitely. Terrain resistance numbers are also pretty nice. On hard 0.575, on medium 0.671, and on soft ground 1.534, so not too bad. But now guys, let's talk about one of the craziest things on this vehicle. And keep in mind, all this information is from the Supertest stage, from the Supertest server. So everything is subject to change. And I hope it is going to change a little bit. Because the armor on this vehicle, at the moment at least, I believe is a little bit too much for a medium tank. Hull armor, frontal hull armor, 160 millimeters thick. 90 on the sides and 45 in the rear. Turret armor, 300, 195 and 65. But 160 millimeters thick frontal hull armor, that is actually quite nicely sloped as well. Might be a little bit too much. Over here on the armor profile, I believe this is not effective armor value that we are watching at the moment, because that color is exactly 160 if I'm looking at the chart, and the turret is exactly 300 as well. So we're able to see where that 300 millimeters thick armor actually is. And as we can see from the picture, please do not waste time aiming at those hatches. As we can see from this picture, the hatch on the right side of the vehicle is complete red, so completely covered with 300 millimeters thick armor. And the hatch on the right is like 220, starting from 220 and moving up from there, with some slope action as well. So commander hatches are not going to be weak spots. Oh boy, I don't know where this vehicle is going, because at the moment it has more frontal hull armor, on paper at least, than on IS-7 or on IS-4. Tier 10 Soviet Russian heavy tanks. IS-7 has 150, I believe, but it has that pointy nose, which means a lot better effective armor value when IS-7 is facing towards you, but you cannot side scrape with IS-7, for example, because you are going to devalue your frontal armor that way. But this vehicle 160 and flat frontal plate. And you can use some side scrape action actually with 90 millimeters thick side armor. But you cannot angle it too much. Well, we'll see. And yet another interesting thing is that this vehicle is only 42 tons heavy tank. Meanwhile, it has super thick turret, 300 millimeters thick frontal armor, super thick hull armor as well, and only 42 tons. Engine power 600 horsepower engine. It is going to lose some power to weight ratio, 14.29 horsepower per ton. This is not the best, this is actually quite bad. On old 430 or on 430 that we have at the moment has 16.43 power to weight ratio. So yeah, the acceleration is not as good, it doesn't achieve its top speed that fast, and so on, so on. I guess this is going to be yet another balancing factor about this vehicle, maybe. I do not have any correct numbers for the concealment of this vehicle. Well, I have some numbers, but they are clearly wrong. There is no way this vehicle has 30.6% stock camo value, stationary camo value. Well, this is not happening, guys, don't worry. View range 400 meters, signal range 730, and this vehicle is going to have 4 crew members, commander, driver, gunner and loader most likely, as standard and as per usual. Now this vehicle compared to the 430 has a lot better DPM, of course. With 100% crew, 430 has 3128 damage per minute, better gun handling, but aiming time at the moment is actually the same, 2.21 second aiming time, but accuracy is better on 430 than on 430U. Mobility is better, 55 top speed, 20 reverse speed, better power to weight ratio, 2 points better, 2 horsepower per ton better power to weight ratio. What else? HP is the same, view range is the same, gun depression the same. So gun elevation, as I said, most likely is going to be from 15 to 17 degrees. On object 430, it is 16.2 degrees. Yeah, nothing too crazy over here. And 430U compared to the 121, yet another punchy gun with 440 alpha damage. A lot better DPM on 121, a lot better accuracy, 0.34 accuracy. That is actually better than on 430 at the moment. 0.34 accuracy, but aiming time 2.59 seconds, gun depression is the same, gun elevation is the same, power to weight ratio almost the same with 430U. 50 less HP, armor of course is going to be a lot worse, view range same, but overall mobility is actually better on 121 because of speed difference, 56 top speed and 20 reverse speed, but all the rest of the things are pretty much the same. So, ladies and gents, first details about the upcoming Object 430's replacement Object 430U. With pretty ridiculous armor, I have to say, at the moment at least. We just have to wait and see. Maybe this is going to change, maybe not. And yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, guys. I am going to keep you posted. You please enjoy your weekend. Take the maximum out of it, as always, as I like to tell you. And I catch you in my next episode. Tomorrow I might have something special for you guys. Stay tuned for that. Bye.